Toy Story, Midnight Marinara with Chef Woody. Let me preface this disaster by saying I've been awake for 37 hours straight, thanks to a deadly combo of expired Monster energy drinks and a Hot Pocket I found behind my radiator in 2019. I was flipping through channels on my vintage RCA television. Don't ask why I still use it. Nostalgia is a disease. When the screen fuzzed out and showed static that smelled like oregano, then, without warning, Woody from Toy Story appeared on screen. But this wasn't your grandma's Woody. No. This Woody had a 5 o'clock shadow, bloodshot eyes, and a novelty apron that read, "Kiss the chef, you cowpoke." He was standing in what looked like an abandoned Food Network set, complete with flickering stove lights, rotted canned goods, and a pot bubbling with souls. You could hear them scream faintly, like bad Yelp reviews. "Howdy, partners," Woody rasped like a man who'd smoked 800 jalapenos. "Tonight on Late Night Marinara, we're serving Buzz Lightyear's wings in pasta sauce." Buzz's wings were already defeathered and simmering in a chunky marinara that looked suspiciously like motor oil and regret. The camera panned to a giant spaghetti bowl filled with alphabet noodles spelling out, "I am real." The meatballs screamed softly every time Woody stirred them. He began explaining the recipe. First, you catch a space ranger. You break his emotional core with harsh truths about mortality. Then you deglaze him with fear sweat. Then Woody pulled out a glittery pink bottle labeled Soul Salt and sprinkled it on the bubbling pot of buzz sauce. A disembodied Mr. Potato Head eye floated to the surface and blinked. Twice. But before I could change the channel, the screen cut to a completely unrelated public service announcement about salmonella. It was clearly recorded in the 1970s and hosted by a guy in a lab coat licking a raw chicken leg. "Kids," he said sternly, "salmonella isn't just a word you shout in an Italian deli. It's a threat. If your chicken is undercooked, it might rise and demand reparations." The segment ended with a warning to never put sprinkles on raw meat, unless you want the meat to taste festive as it kills you. Back to Woody, who now had a live audience consisting entirely of Barbie dolls duct taped to forks. The audience laughed on cue, their jaws frozen in hollow, forced glee. Rex was the sous chef, deep-frying W-2 tax forms and shouting, "I'm afraid of oil," every 5 seconds. "Next week," Woody whispered directly into the camera, "we braise ham in guilt gravy and bake Slinky Dog into a bundt cake of existential dread." The screen went black. The room smelled like garlic and betrayal. I tried to unplug the TV, but the cord had melted into nacho cheese. I haven't slept since. Every night at 2:34 a.m., Woody whispers marinara recipes through the static, and I swear, last night he winked and said, "You're next on the menu, partner." Anyway, I'm now legally a vegetarian. You should be too. Also wash your hands. Salmonella.